Well, we are back at it again today, guys. We have the special treat of International Master opperwezen going up against Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan. We saw Seirawan going up against Ekarf yesterday, and today he's going up against opperwezen. So playing some of the world's best Crazyhouse and buggers. I am tuning in a little bit late to this match. Wasn't able to start the recording up immediately, had some things going on, so unfortunately I wasn't able to catch some of the first matches in this series. But hopefully we'll keep playing for a while and get a good number of more matches under our belts here. Seirawan, that is, didn't fare incredibly well against Ekarf yesterday. He managed to get himself into some time trouble and lost a fair number of games, but today he's got a pretty even record against opperwezen here, 9-8 now in opperwezen's favor, but a very evenly matched pair it seems thus far. Playing 3+0 blitz, so plenty of time to think, at least relatively speaking. It looks like opperwezen's going to find mate there with 3 seconds on the clock. Alright, opperwezen 10-8. And alright, let's just head into the game proper. Yasser Seirawan seems to play the French almost invariably. He likes playing d4 from white and the French as black. Doesn't seem to stray too far from these systems. Seems that's the type of positions he's very comfortable with and knows them inside and outside. Yasser Seirawan seems to have found his footing when it comes to Crazyhouse rating here on Chess. For some time over the past few days, he was bouncing around between 23 and 2,500 or so, and he's finally kind of climbed his way back up to where he belongs, where I feel he belongs, in the 2,500 range or so. So that's good to see, and it's good to see him putting on a very contentious match against opperwezen, giving him a run for his money. Opperwezen, of course, is known for his creative prowess, and he's a very, very strong Crazyhouse player, also getting a little bit more involved in Bughouse as well, but strong chess player, strong Crazyhouse player, strong variant player in general. Okay, so you're allowing this knight to drop. You can sack on f2 here if you're black. Or actually probably the pawn or bishop drop on d2. Probably bishop drop on d2. That can't be taken because you'll have mate. And if you play bishop here, then you can scoop up c3 wherever that king moves. So bishop here seems like a good move. Finds it. Okay, so if king steps here, if you take here, bishop takes, or king takes bishop, yeah, you probably want to take here with the knight next, no matter what, and just get this rook. So king takes, or maybe he's considering queen takes here, but that looks pretty darn dangerous because then you're threatening queen sacking here and the queen drop. So you scoop up this rook with check. Now where does this king step? I'm calling this game for Seirawan here. Okay, interesting move here. Instead of moving the knight away and trying to promote or going for something a little bit slower, he's playing rook at c4, attacking the queen and interfering with this communication with c2, so he's going to be able to take on c2 next. That's a nice move. Okay, opperwezen attacking the queen here. Maybe, you can't go here because of a knight drop. Can't go here either because of a knight drop. I'd like to move to one of these two squares so I can threaten taking on c2 with the queen next. But, okay, where can the queen move? Somewhat limited. Knight steps back to c3. Now the king can't step to the back rank because you'll promote with check. So where does it want to step? Comes here, you have more knight checks. Okay, so now you have a queen check. You'll interfere with the bishop, probably. One of these squares. And now you can take that queen because he won't be taken with check. Very nice. Queen here. Must be mating. Must be, even if I don't see it immediately. Queen here, king there. Promote to a knight, king here. You don't really want to under promote to a knight here and let him escape, so instead, interesting. So what about knight here? Is he just falling into mate? Yeah, that's mate. King takes, bishop takes, and knight on either h3, h6 or f6 will be mate. Wow, yeah, he didn't have time to promote to a queen there. That's why I was saying under promote. Maybe he had auto queen on and didn't realize how those mechanics work on chess. He's probably saying that in chat right now. I bet it was auto queen. Yeah, he's probably trying to under promote to a knight there because queening doesn't make sense. There are multiple ways to find mate here for opper reason. I bet that's what that little delay was there between ending that match and starting up that game and starting up this game. I bet Seirawan was trying to figure out how to turn auto queen off. So that's unfortunate. That was a game that was well within. I mean, by all rights, he should have won that game, I think. Unfortunate that came down to a technical error. All right, now we get this d4, d5 structure, and Seirawan establishing a pawn on f4. Got kind of this stonewall formation. If you can imagine a pawn on c3, which doesn't often happen in Crazyhouse in these types of situations, but pawns on these squares and the knight here is indicative of a stonewall structure. And maybe this f4 move opens up the rook, and in some situations, I mean, you can always recapture on e5 with that pawn as an option to open up the rook. You can even consider swinging the rook over, although that's a little bit slow. All right, taking that knight. Now, you could take this knight, and if you take to the knight, try to get rid of that knight so you can swing your queen into h5. That's an idea. Does he want to take there again and swing the queen in, or you're just going to plunk down another knight onto e5? It's a very obvious hole. Okay. So he's allowing this queen to drop. I was going to say queen e1 was perfectly fine there, but he's going to go in for a few trades here. It's 2 pieces for the queen. Opperwezen trying to reestablish some safety along the dark squares. Attacking this knight. You'd like to be able to get rid of this knight, but then you also allow a pawn to be established on the square, which is, neither a pawn nor a knight is desirable on this square. No piece is desirable on this square, so you have to make a decision. What's worse, whether you want to get rid of this knight and allow a pawn to live there or not. I would say not yet. Don't exchange this bishop for that knight yet. So now bishop here makes sense. So now you get rid of that knight does want to take that bishop. Interesting. Knight's going to swing back to f2. Knight here. That's a nice move because if takes, and now the king is bereft of this nice g2 pawn, and you're threatening a mate on that square. So if the king steps here, then you can take here. Well, you can consider taking here. King takes, pawn on, takes, bishop out, stuff like that. So it does take this knight. Tries to get some safety along these light squares. The king is kind of in a box here, so you always have to be on the lookout for smothered mates on these squares. Those were covered for the time being. Now opperwezen trying to open up the center, trying to get some more material in hand, some more pawns in hand. And probably what he's trying to do is get rid of this knight, or get a knight in hand so he can place it on h4. So his plan is to take here and take this knight. Seirawan, of course, sees that and he won't allow it. Let's see how he decides to counter that plan. Bishop f3. Isn't that a little bit slow? Can't you just take here now? And allowing this knight to drop is dangerous. I guess his idea is that this bishop now covers the square. So after a knight here, king back to h1, then you don't have a drop here, but you're still allowing this piece to drop, and that's, You can't allow that. So I think maybe he just didn't appreciate the fact that opperwezen was planning to take that knight with a rook. Yeah, I think white's just lost here. King steps up. He's gonna try to hold on to this piece, I suppose. But no, there's no way. This is not leading to mate. Bishop here, pawn here, bishop here. I'd say probably just bishop here is enough. And he concedes. Alright, so another game going to opperwezen. He's pulling away a little bit here. 12 to 8 now. Let's see if they keep going. Now it looks like Seirawan is done for now. It's a bit of a shame that I wasn't able to catch that full match, but I'm sure there'll be many more. It seems that Seirawan is becoming quite active, actually, in the Crazyhouse community here on Lead Chess, so hopefully we'll be back at it again soon. And otherwise, I'll be back at it anyway with more candidates matches. So I'll be talking to you soon.